Yes, hello. My name is Martti. And in simple words, I'm going to tell that we have a business challenge. We need to get more colors and more deeper colors out of our equipment, and that they are meant to do. So if all the previous talkers, they talked about best practice, I can't say that our practice is the best practice, but this is the way we challenge the need. And there are definitely some negative aspects. I'm going to talk about those as well. So it isn't like a best practice, and highly recommended. So by background, I should be a businessman, and in practice it has turned out that I am one. And I have no expertise in digital printing, beside of the fact that I've been managing a company which core process includes digital printing. So first we print on paper, and then we sublimate onto the textiles. And our company actually started only with the printing part. And later on, all the other processes are added up. And so now we work with the whole value chain in the house. Beside of the materials, we do the product development, and we sew the products together, we ship them to clients, and we even have like after services like repair service. We are a small company, but we are operating on the top level. So our biggest part of our business is custom clothing for teams and clubs. And these are Estonian ladies in the last Biathlon World Championships in the team relay, being fourth. In the middle picture, there is our south neighbor, Andres Rastaragujev's, also the same World Championships, being on the second place. And unfortunately, I can't show you the picture, but one of our time trial suits have been tested, one of the biggest names or superstars in cycling world, and it is one of his favorite suit, and it's actually one of the quickest at the speeds of 45 kilometers per hour. But on this picture, he's our ambassador and our chief creative officer, Hanna, and in a very similar time trial suit. So why? If anybody has worked in the similar field, doing the sublimation on textiles, then you know it that the smyck with 4 colors is really limited. And if you check on the web about the coverage of the visible spectrum of the colors, the most of the diagrams are definitely too optimistic. So this is from a scientific paper. I think it's more realistic. What I really want to point out here are 2 things. The first, how small the coverage area actually is, and the second one is the reach in the corners, so in the blues and in the reds. So they're not going too far into the blues and the reds. And I can say you that many of teams and clubs already have a design which is in those corners, or actually want a design which are in those corners. Yeah, and this is the practical example of our business need. So this is Estonian cycling club, Viljandi Rattaklubi. They have been one of our clients pretty much from the day one. And we call it, we call it Viljandi red, but also like a Ferrari red. And it is very difficult or almost impossible to get this color with our equipment, or even a similar sublimation equipment. To give you a context, I need to go back in time. So, like I said, our company is established 2013. We started to work 2014 when my friend and our founder, former cyclist Alan, started the business. He had idea to make the cycling clothing for a very long time, and when he stopped his active career, then he pretty much checked the YouTube and how to make the cycling clothes. So he saw that he needs a printer, he needs some press, and that is actually how he started. So he flew to Italy to check how we can get the press and the materials, and in Estonia he could buy the printer. So this was the printer. Actually, this type of printer stopped working in our house just a couple of months ago. It is most sold Mutoh printer there is, and I think for a reason. Given the prices of the printers, it is like the best entry-level printer out there. And yeah, it is now actually discontinued, but it can be still found and bought. But yeah, the newer versions are coming in. And at that time, it was like 3,500 euros. Now you can get it like 6,000 or 7,000 euros. And what is also important is the RIP software, which we are using. We have been using only the ErgoSoft, and I have no experience, or I do not know any other softwares or what they are. So that is also important to mention. And how it usually goes, you buy the printer. So someone comes in, takes the printer into your house, sets it up, makes the installment, makes the profiling and linearization, and that's it. And at that time, it was the same. Alan bought the printer, someone came in, did everything, and Alan had only like one thing. He needed to get this Viljandi Rattaklubi red, or the Ferrari red, out of the result. And at the end of the day, the guy said, yeah, this is the result. Here you can see the red, and here you can see the blues, and that was it. Alan didn't have any experience to understand, is it like all the correct way or isn't. He saw the right colors, and that was it. And that is actually how we worked for the next 8 years. And suddenly, quite in a short time period, in 2022, we really started to get this rivering issue after the pressing, and the people came in, some experts. They said that it's the problem of too much ink, but we hadn't changed the amount of ink. We hadn't changed any of the settings for the printers. And usually, the rivering is caused by, like, if you have really big materials, but we didn't have any change in the materials, nor so. But okay, we started to investigate if they say it's too much ink, and we wanted to get like a third opinion. So we called like one specialist from Poland to make the setup for the printers totally again, like from scratch. And if when he did saw like the result, the output and the input we were putting in the screens, he was like, how guys you are working this way. And he did everything from the scratch. I was also there. It was late in the evening. Everything was done. We'd make some test prints. It seemed perfect. And he went home. And the next day in the morning, ladies did make some test prints. We still had the rivering issue. But most important, Alan came and checked the print result and asked, okay, but where is the Viljandi red? It wasn't there. So, yeah, we were pretty much, again, from the in the start, the place where we had been before. But we started to like compare, okay, what is now the difference between how we worked and what the Polish expert had done on the setup. And yeah, this is also my words and grouped by the experience in the ErgoSoft. So you have like these main, let's say, levers for manipulation. You say the printer, how you define the files you give the RIP software. Then you have the linearization. Then you have some device options, and then you have the printer profiles and the ink limit. I will leave out the linearization. That is actually one of the settings we do not change. That has been done, and that's it. But what turned out that we had been working for 8 years without applying the printer profile. So there was input profile, the device options were set, but the printer profiles were there, but they were not like applied. So that was, if I can also say in my words, these are all like rules to define the printer how to work. And if you take out some of the rules, then the printer can go, let's say, crazy. And yeah, but that was the way we could get the results what we needed. And then we were like in a situation then there has to be also the correct way, that all the settings and everything has been done correctly, because we can see the result out there on the competition. And yeah, we started to look again for a new specialist, and there is like a big printing house in Tartu. And one of the managers there has been working 40 years in the field. He didn't have any experience in the sublimation, but he was willing to come and help because it was also interesting challenge for him. And yeah, later on, with the help of him, we were able to also make like a correct output profile, but like in the simplicity, it was in the end really similar to the like initial setting when there was no output profile given for the printer. So also in my words, let's say if you do everything correctly, I would say the only negative side is that actually the color space is like really limited. If you try out the things which shouldn't be done in this way, then there are some negative effects. The one thing is for sure that the printhead lifetime is reduced because you are stressing out. You can be stressing out the printheads like really. You're pretty much saying that okay, let through all the ink which you can, how much it can flow, and we have burnt out some of the printheads within 1 year. So even a cheap printer can turn out to be a really expensive one later on. There is more waste. We have found practice where the waste is limited. It's a very unacceptable level, but there are some additional risk points all the time, which can turn to be later on that the material is going into the waste. We are using thicker papers. We're using sometimes really big amount of ink. So yeah, the risk places where something can go wrong, there are some additional places. The pre-press process is very slow. So if you're not applying the rules, then the result what you see on the screen and the result what comes out of the printer is like totally off. I don't mean that you're comparing a similar stuff, but it's so much off that pretty much for all the new designs, the test prints are mandatory, and also the manual. The designers are manually first defining the colors. We have these big printouts with these settings of the printer, and they're color matching it from these big printouts, and then we make test prints, and if it's okay, then then we're ready to go. So most of our designs are vector graphics. So in the one workspace, we have actually really limited amount of colors. So yeah, I couldn't imagine that this type of practice could be used in like printing out photos, like never. And yeah, next thing is that when you have like different printers, then yeah, changing the works between the printers becomes even more difficult because yeah, if you're not applying the same rules, then the results and the printers are different, and it is difficult. It can be again this slow and manual pre-press just to do the work in other printer, and also the thicker paper. All the industry is moving more thinner and thinner paper, and also more thinner amount of ink just to reduce the cost on the big scale. And yeah, we are talking now even like 60 grams for the paper, but yeah, we can't use it if we make this type of practice. We are working with a more thicker paper. Yeah, and thank you. So if someone needs to try it, then yeah, there are some negatives to consider, but it can be possible.
Are there any questions?
Which printer are you using now?
That is a business secret, but still Muta printers. One is also still like entry level, and one is like in the medium tier. Which printhead? Yeah, I can't like know the names, but we can share that info later on with you.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Any more questions? It was a very interesting, honest presentation that a lot of people don't share this, what happens.
Thank you. you slide you had the hexachrome. You can also have 8 colors.
Yeah.
That will solve lots of your problems.
We have one of the printer with 8 colors. We have those additional cyans and additional magentas. Still, the effect is not so big if you lose the profiles and stuff. Then the printers can expand the Gamut more compared.
You need to do profiling, but if you're limited in your profile with CMYK, then I think go for hexachrome or 8 colors even. It's a little bit more expensive, but it will give you consistency.
Yeah. We have we have 8 color printer where the setup is not like 4 color. It's actually a 6 color and 2 spot colors. And the 2 additional colors are like additional cyan and additional magenta, but still, it gives some additional like colors, but not so much.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah. At least with the inks and printers we are working with. And also the limit of inks. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Martti. Taking this.